Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for your time to come today to this session. So I'd like to introduce you Dr. Anwar Ali Khan, and he's from India, and he's a visiting fellow of the Institute of Advanced Studies, as he's working with us around the problems of air quality in Delhi. So Anwar is working as a senior officer in environmental department at the government of Delhi and looking after the portfolio of nodal officer of air quality and climate change in Delhi. And you might already knew about Delhi, that it's one of the most polluted possibly cities in the world. So you will hear more from Anwar. So he is a researcher from the background. So he got his PhD in air quality from Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi, and his master's in environmental engineering and bachelor's in civil engineering. So he's got more than 20 years of experience in environmental policy and management, and he has been on the forefront of leading many of the initiatives in Delhi, which comes about the air pollution and the climate change kind of the management. He's working with the ADB and the World Bank, and at the moment we are working together on a kind of an interesting topic of air framework for the low middle income countries, how you can manage basically the pollution in cities. So you may have heard a lot of talks from the academics, but it's a special one because he comes from the civil organization, and not really directly involved in research, but brings the policy and the management perspective for bigger cities. So it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. And over to you.
Thank you. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank Mrs. Marila from Institute of Advanced Studies, and really grateful for inviting me, and very much grateful to Professor Prashant for inviting me for this fellowship from Global Center of Clean Air Research. It's my great privilege to be here in Surrey, lovely place of Guildford, and to meet you today. So today I'm going to talk about problem of air pollution in Indian megacities, especially in Delhi. So for me, I think Professor Prashant has introduced you, and I would say that I'm involved in implementation of various policies and acts in New Delhi. So my presentation will be talking about what is the pollution scenario in Delhi, and what are the sources which are causing pollution in Delhi, and how we are tackling those problems, and what is the way forward. So this is my summary of my presentation, and let's go. You can see the dimensions of air quality impact in India. As you see that air pollution in Indian cities has reached to alarming level. You must be hearing in newspapers and various articles. And as per a WHO report 2022, which was a recent one, 15 out of 20 most polluted cities, they are from India, unfortunately. And 660 million people, health is at risk due to breathing of poor air quality in Indian cities. Young children, senior citizens, they face brunt of air pollution every day. Air pollution, which is accounting 12% deaths in India, which is the highest due to any cause. Air pollution is really costing dearly to economy. It is 8% of its GDP, and it is very alarming for us that Delhi is the most polluted city in the world, and polluted capital in the world. Not, I can say it's the polluted city in India, because there may be few others which are more polluted than Delhi, like nearby towns like Ghaziabad and all. But we can say that Delhi, when you talk in terms of capital in the world, Delhi is the most polluted. This slide is a bit blurred actually, but from this slide you can see we are measuring 8 criteria pollutants like PM10, PM2.5, SO2, and NO2, carbon monoxide, ozone, ammonia, and So you can see that how we are dealing with the air pollution. We are having the biggest culprit for air pollution is 2.5 and PM10. They are the most culprit pollutants in Delhi, which are causing health hazard to the public. As you see the standard, we have the standard in India as comparative to WHO. Where 24 hour mean 2.5 value is for 60, and if you can PM10 it is 100. Vis-a-vis, if you can see WHO standard, it is 45. And this is framework we are how we are communicating to the public. The air quality index, it is categorized into 6 categories, and based on the colors we communicate to the people. So if we can say that air quality index, which is indicator of air pollution everywhere, and it is related to health risks. So we can say that Delhi, the best quality of air, what we observe all over the year, is poor quality. So it's very unfortunate actually, and more often we reach this severe condition, which is hazardous condition, particularly in winter season when air is very calm, winds are very, there is no ventilation, mixing height is very less. So these kind of meteorological scenarios makes worse for air pollution in Delhi. And you can see that Delhi is the most, I can say that is the most monitored city in the world. We are having 40 monitoring ambient real time monitoring stations, and these eight criteria pollutants. Benzene, I missed that time, so it's benzene also. Though we are concentrating on 6, but it's benzene too. So this is how we are monitoring. There are 40 stations around Delhi, every part of the Delhi, and we are monitoring all these parameters. I'm presenting you the recent data of Delhi, which is last 6. Because we divide air pollution scenario into 2 parts: the summer season, winter season. Winter season is a severe one. Summer there is pollution, but it's not to that extent. Here we can see this category of number of days, and we can say uh, there are very less number of good days, and even we are crossing 4 days even in the summer season. And you see the last is the into the winter, which is the critical season. The critical season, when as I told you that there's a very calm conditions, the atmospheric dispersion is very less for the pollutants. So this make worse scenario. So October to January, and there's a kind of a fire which takes place around Delhi. Like it's actually harvesting month for the farmers around Delhi. So they burn the crop. When the crop is burned, then all the pollutants they come reaches to Delhi, and it stagnates there and makes this scenario in the worst category. Nevertheless, you see this data, we are improving actually. In the 1920, after 2 or 3 years back, there were 15 severe day in a span of 3 months, but we are reducing. So we have made a lot of progress there. Now it has reduced to 8 now. So year by year, due to interventions the government is taking, it is reducing. So number of severe days in 3 months, which is a critical 3 months, is reducing year by year. These are the efforts we are doing. I'll be mentioning you whatever the efforts we are taking to cutting down these pollution number of days. You can see this picture that the PM 2.5, it remains very high in these months like October to December, which is winter months, and January to February, which is also winter months. So in these winter months, it remains very high, and you see it's above 300 marks. The standard is 60, and 60, and how this is 300. So this kind of scenario of 2.5 is there existing in Delhi. Now, thing is, what are the contributors? Who contribute to this pollution level? What is contributing? So, a real-time real-time apportionment study, which is going on in Delhi. I'm presenting you the last data, which was presented to us. According to this, we can see that 60%, 61% of the pollutants is contributed by biomass burning, followed by vehicular pollution, then construction and demolition dust, which comes from construction activities, and then MSW burning, because Delhi is having some landfills, three landfill sites are there, which the burning takes place often. And you can see the contribution of the top polluted top sources is that soil and road dust. We can see that it is contributing highest to PM10, and road, soil and CND dust is contributing highest to PM2.5. So our strategies are focused are based on these five pillars of like we go for vehicular emission control, CND dust management, burning of soil. We control burning of solid and agro waste, and we are day by day we are enlarging this green canopy and some industrial emission control. So, what were the critical thing? We brought changes in Delhi. This was the graded response action plan, which is implemented as emergency response system in Delhi. There are because there are four stages when it is implemented. Like when air quality is in four category, it is a stage one. There will be some interventions automatically which will be implemented by different government agencies. When it reaches to stage two, like in poor quality, then there will be different actions which will be taken by the different agencies, and it's like the severe and severe. So they stated announced 3 days before this stage reaches through a forecasting system. And now I will present what are the various initiatives according to the each grade, each stage. Like stage when daily quality is poor, like is nowadays it is existing there. So we will announce that in 3 days that Delhi is going to witness this poor quality for next 3 days. So what are the different actions which have to be taken by the different government departments? So this will be like they will be implementing guidelines on the dust mitigation measure. They will stop CND activities and sites which are not registered uh, on the web portal of our government department. Mechanical sweeping will take place. Mechanical sprinkling water sprinkling will be on the road. We'll be using anti-dust smoke guns at the construction site, and PUC norms like with the vehicles which are applying on the roads. They will have compulsory pollution control certificates. So there will be random checking of the vehicles, and will be diverting the non-destined trucks, because Delhi is a landlocked city. It is surrounded by many cities around it, and lot of trucks and big vehicles which are actually not going to Delhi but going to other state. They also cross Delhi, so they also cause kind of problems to Delhi. So we divert them. There are the other peripheral roads which have been constructed. They divert them instead of coming to Delhi, and we take action against the non-compliant illegal industries in that period, and we ban firecrackers, and we take place in the marriages, any functions, any festivals. So stop them that time, and we stop lifting of industrial waste. That time, the waste which is lying there, it will be the duty of the industry to keep it until the air quality improves. Because once they will dispose it in the truck may be open to the sky, then it may release kind of emissions. So that time we stick them. This say suppose the air quality level goes beyond 300, and then we invoke these kind of actions to be taken by the different government agencies, like we ban DG sets except in hospitals and in schools or any life lifts for residential purpose, and we increase our instructions for dust mitigation, CND site construction sites, and we tell hotels, restaurants to only operate on electricity, no coal, nothing, no charcoal, that's it. And we make alert that now Delhi air quality is reaching to the very poor category. So to stay indoors like children and elderly people. We asked the RWA, Resident Welfare Association, to provide electrical heaters, because the guards and these workers, they often burn the woods for their warming. So we tell them to give them electrical heaters, and we keep on augmenting CNG and electrical buses during that period. And these are the severe categories when air quality reaches the hazardous category. That time we completely stop, even we don't allow in the peripheral roads. We say no truck and no vehicle will be entered into NCR region, and we ban we don't allow any diesel vehicle to run in the Delhi, and we stop industries completely. Industry cannot run in that period till this quality improves, and uh, we promote 50% working. 50% person will be working from home, and they will not come, so reduce the traffic on the roads. And we also take some kind of measures for shutting down schools for that period. So these are the graded response system which automatically comes into force if we just announce. Now, the recent one when I left for Surrey, so this summer action plan was invoked, and during my time, this kind of roadmap was prepared. And according to this, what the target was to minimize these days. We took the benchmark of 2021 when this 21 was they were the bad days. So we have to minimize these 21 bad days in during the summer, and we have to increase the good days, like there was 162 during that period, so we want to maximize them. So let number of days come in, let number of bad days reduce. So based on this strategy we made a summer action plan. So there will be winter action plan, there will be summer action plan. So first in 6 months we implement summer action plan when air quality will be in the category of poor and very poor, and during the winter when category will be in the severe and very severe category. According to this is the summer action plan. We implement like this. We burning control, dust control, construction management, vehicle pollution control. We increase the greening and landscape. City foresters, they come into picture. They do lot of plantation because it's a monsoon period. Monsoon period is supposed to be the best season to plant the trees. So a lot of activities take place during this monsoon period. There's a kind of festivals happens in school, colleges for to celebrate the planting of trees and saplings. We distribute saplings, and we promote this park development, urban development, urban farming and all, because it happens during the rainy seasons. For survival of plants is chance of survival of plants are more higher if you plant the seed at that time during this summer, in this monsoon season. So one by one, I'll tell you the initiative under each head, like this real source apportionment study, which is underway. It is being done by University of Washington. So results will be available within a year. So maybe we'll be publishing kind of a data kind of paper on that. So all you will be knowing about this outcome of this study. But according to this survey, which was the latest interim report, I already shared with you what are the contribution of each source for pollution of Delhi. These are kind of chart we prepare for at a glance, knowing that what is the share of each sources for the particulate matters and all. And these are you see if the last 15 days or last 1 month data, it is there. So these are the various even like the 15 days data, we can see that what are the contribution of each, and at a glance we can see that the biomass burning is happening take place. So we'll go and control immediate that part, but how it is happening, so that it can become shallow, it can reduce it like this. So maybe that one, maybe it has shrink because of, so we have taken some actions. So this is the monitoring by the government agencies to control air pollution in this way. Dust management activities, dust control activities, what we take is that hotspot monitoring. We have divided Delhi into 13 hotspots which witness air pollution level, air quality level more than 300. So we identify those points and we call them hotspots. So in that hotspot, we implement these kind of things like deployment of anti-smoke. ESG means anti-smoke guns. Anti-smoke gun means it's a kind of canal, canyon throwing to water vapors. So we put it on the top of the building and it will be throwing water to suppress the dust. So it is anti-smoke gun. I will show you a picture of that. It's anti-smoke gun. And we encourage all these construction site to register with us, and they share the real-time monitoring, real-time air quality monitoring. It is like once it is breaching, then we will know that construction project is breaching our norms, and we can go and catch him and penalize them. Like this, we are doing road dust, which is the major cause of Delhi. So we are doing kind of repairs of the roads, and we are deploying kind of MRS, mechanical sweeping machines, so that will clean the roads automatically. We were doing it manually initially, but that was very intensive, labor intensive. So nowadays we have brought some good machines which are automatical, and they suck the dust and keep it out. We are deploying water sprinkling. There are tankers which are moving around everywhere on the roads, and they sprinkle the roads laterally, vertically, and at the bottom to keep this all the roads moist, and so that no dust can take place. You see, this is the thing I was talking. This anti-smoke gun. It's a kind of canyon which is showing water dust, which is showing water around that display, and all the dust which settles down due to this. This is a good initiative. It got good results actually. So we have we have deployed 233 smoke guns at the large construction sites. So these are the directions to the construction units that they have to ensure that their registration and taking this thing. This is the thing I've explained, that deploying the MRS machines, water sprinkling, anti-smoke gun. For dust management, these are the agencies, municipal corporation, various agencies. They're all different agencies, you see. There's a coordination among the agencies which is taking place. There are 9 agencies which are involved in road dust management, but through we make a coordination arrangement so that each agency is doing their own work and submitting us, and we are monitoring it. These are the status of mechanical sweeping machines, and these are the water sprinkling which is taking place from various agencies. These are the number, actually these are monitoring, and the purpose of this sharing of this slide is that how we monitor it. Like you are sitting here, our big in charge, like director and secretary will come, and then all the agencies like you are sitting, you will be from the different agencies. And then you will tell that, sir, this is I'm from MCD, and these are 246 water sprinkling machines we have deployed. And there will be some kind of target will be assigned to you. So like this monitoring arrangement we have with different kind of arrangement is inter agencies coordination. You see, this is a mounted, the vehicle mounted anti-smoke guns, which is very common. It is very easy when it will go mobile, and it will keep on sprinkling water on everywhere. So it has brought a good results. You see, in the top of the building, they are along the roads, like this. And now we are, as I told, that we are going for greening and some kind of landscaping so that dust gets suppressed. Fire incidents, yes, that was the main cause of air pollution. It was happening in the landfill sites. So we are ensuring that 100% household waste is collected, which was not a scenario in Delhi. In the developing countries, the house 100% collection is not there as in Guildford and in developed countries. So that's the lacking part of our country, that we don't collect 100%. So now we are ensuring that 100% household waste is collected and segregated, and it goes to municipal sites and it gets processed properly, and remediation of legacy waste which keeps on lying for many years. So we do the compaction kind of thing, we do the sprinkling kind of things, and we control the fires by putting kind of alarm system there, we fire tenders there. So this we are controlling it. So this is the presentation of how many sites, how many fires took place last 6 months, and how we control them. This is the big cause of pollution, which is called transboundary movement of pollution. It takes place due to the open burning of municipal solid waste, some kind of crops, and for that we are enforcing that there should be no burning. We are putting some penalties on the public, which is found burning activity, and we are giving kind of subsidies to the farmers to support them for buying biodecomposters, so that they don't burn it. They just sprinkle it. They just put it on these harvested crops, and they don't burn it. And it's a kind of composting, and they can use it for manure, and they can sell it that manure. And of course, the industrial waste, which is also, I told you that during that particular time, we stop them sending it to the sites. We tell them to store, and later we ask them to take it to the TSDF site, and in a very controlled way. These are the enforcement teams which are deployed during the winters and summer. Stubble burning, these are the initiatives which are taken by Delhi government for assisting the farmers who burn the crops during the winters, and we provide kind of subsidy to the people, so that for giving them kind of instruments which cut the crop, not from the bottom but from the top, and they don't burn it, and then biodecompose them and use as a manure. So these are kind of policy decisions we have taken to control, and above, we, if they don't listen to us, then we impose a penalty on them. Industrial pollution, for you will know that in Delhi all the industries are now running. 100% of those industries which were on the DG set, or on diesel, now they are all on the gases. So there is no industry in Delhi which is not running on CNG. So we are using the clean fuel in Delhi, and that also brought change in Delhi. So we can see that this, out of this 1,823, 1,721 they are running on the PNG, and the remaining 102 they are on the LPG. So this also brought a good change, policy for this policy decision got a good change in air quality. And now the latest thing what we are doing is promoting electrical EV mobility. We have banned 15 years diesel vehicles flying on the road, and we have banned the 10 years vehicle diesel vehicle flying on the road, and 10 years and 15 years petrol vehicle. So the vehicle which is 15 years old running on petrol will not be allowed more than 15 years. The vehicle which is on diesel with more than 10 years, it will not be allowed. So we are promoting electrical mobility, and we are increasing their adaptation. We are promoting electrical vehicles for adopting, and we are increasing the network of charging station, which was the problem because recently introduced in Delhi. We have less number of charging stations and battery swapping stations. So we are augmenting those kind of stations so that public can go and purchase more electrical vehicles, and buses for commercial for passenger buses. They are all running on e-vehicle, e-mode. So we are providing kind of subsidy to the public for hiring these electrical vehicles. And you can see that 2,384 charging stations they are in place, and we are targeting more, like 3,470 by 2025. So like day by day we are increasing our stations. for vehicle pollution control, as I already discussed with you, that we are phasing out old vehicles, which are the culprit of pollution. 15 years vehicles, 10 years vehicles running on petrol or diesel respectively, they are all phased out. And we are enforcing the PUC norms, pollution control norms, like we are randomly checking the vehicles and stopping them and taking the sample of that. If it is exceeding, then we will seize that vehicle. And and those who are meeting the norm, we put kind of sticker on the screen that it is meeting the norms. So every police person can see that by sticker on the glass that it is following. The person who is PUC is expired, so that vehicle will be stopped. So action will be taken. And as I told that non-destined trucks, the moving around the periphery, which are entering into Delhi, will not be taking place. And there will be some particular time, like in the morning, they can enter it, and after during the daytime, the peak time, they will not be allowed to enter into Delhi. So these are the guidelines for phasing out the vehicles. And this is how these non-destined trucks are stopped. These are the kind of interdepartmental task forces for vehicle pollution. They will be taking action for non-lane driving, and some kind of encroachment is taking place. Then they will be taking kind of action, and some kind of because idea is to move the traffic, not to, when this vehicle is stopped, then they start belching air pollution. So smooth the traffic is less wind pollution. So like this, these are the interventions which are being done to capture the people attention and to make them sensitized and to drive smoothly. So you see, we are reducing the congestion points. The most bottlenecks points we are trying to clear basically. And of course, we are as enforcement, we are putting kind of penalties on them who are not following these traffic norms. For easing, we are following the London models, like off-peak rates, and we are differential rates we are introducing. But the more core you go, more you pay. So like kind of arrangement, we are increasing this parking space. It's going on vertical space with this basically. You see, this is the one of the beautiful building. It seems like it's a commercial building. It's a parking. It's a parking space, which is occupying the less space and allowing the people to park inside rather than parking outside scattered and causing pollution and congestion basically. And these are the few initiatives for public transport. For this is the best best way to reduce the pollution. More the public transport you promote, more less the pollution it will be. So we are promoting kind of metro rail, and we are introducing electrical vehicles and common mobility app we are introducing, so that like in Guildford and like in London, there's a single card, you can use different kind of modes, so that it reduces, basically it promotes, it's a tendency of a person. If you get the good opportunity to travel, so then they will adopt a kind of public transport. If you see that I will be in the queue, I will waste time, then of course it will be discouraged. He will use their own vehicle. So to give them a kind of encouragement, to give them kind of confidence that they can reach this destination through public this thing. So of course, in this way we are making this lucrative kind of public transport, so that public can adopt it, and rather taking their own vehicles on road. So these are the targets we are fixing, that how we augment the metro rails, how we augment the bus transport, how we phase out the old vehicles. So these are the kind of arrangements. And these are the things we are going fast with E. So everywhere you will find e-bus, e-auto, e-auto rickshaw, e-cycles. So E everywhere. So of course, e-monitoring. This is a single app for the public, which were launched recently. On the one app, you can book ticket, well, like in Guildford, because for Guildford and all these developed countries, it's a very common thing. But if you go to the developing countries, it's very kind of strange kind of things. So because we are following you, so these are the things you can app. You can see that through this app we can find the charging stations. We can buy the bus ticket, train tickets, metro tickets. So to avoid the decongestion on the roads. And this is the public grievance redressal system, basically the green app. Suppose I find that there's a burning takes place. It's simple to use a green app. We have made a lot of publicity. You find any burning, you just make a complaint. You find any vehicle is polluting, you make a complaint. You find any industry which is belching the smoke, just make it. So it is very easy for the public. I think for every complaint, it takes a minute. It's a so tailor-made kind of thing that one can register a complaint and immediately suppose it belongs to suppose it is related to vehicle which is belching the smoke. I make a complaint. It will directly go to the transport department. If it says regarding this burning of tree, burning of crop, it will go to agriculture department directly. If it is related to industries belching, it will go to pollution department directly. So it is a kind of automatic arrangement. You make a complaint, it will reach to me, and then it will be the responsibility of the government officer to redressal it in a 24 hours. If I don't, it will go to my next boss. Then my next boss will say, oh, you have not done it, what happened? So this kind of arrangement, responsibility, accountability, it has come in. So that is called Green Delhi app. So you can see that 26,000 complaints were resolved in the last 6 months, and pendency when reflex is taken by the senior officers. These are the example of greening. See how the Green Delhi looks like as it was 15. If you compare it the 20 years before Delhi and now, there's a lot of changes. You find a lot of greenery there. And so these are the targets for coming year. How many trees we are going to plant. You see the huge number of trees, 7 lakhs. It's a good number. And then DG said generator is a big source of pollution in Delhi. So we make always we keep on asking the power supply agencies to supply the power uninterrupted to the public. So we are developing the city forest, urban farming like we are doing. It is the responsibility of builder actually. When the builder is making a huge building, we will ask him that is the offset you have to leave and put it like this. And when the clearance will be given to that fellow when he submit this kind of plan, greening plan. And good thing which has brought, it is a very small initiative basically, but it has got a very good change. It's the Eco Club. Eco Clubs is the school children. We have made an Eco Club, this environmental clubs. We give some money, seed money to all the schools. There are more than 2,000 schools in Delhi. We give them seed money for children activities. We involve them in environmental activities. We organize kind of paintings, some quiz competition, some kind of visits. So on environmental issues and some kind of monitoring by the children themselves. So it develops a sense of responsibility in children, and they go to their family and they tell them, Papa, don't use this car, don't use this, don't do that, don't throw this. So we are basically developing barriers in form of children. So this has got a very good result in Delhi by sensitizing these children. And now the problem which remains is this coordination between the interstate, which is lacking, and I am here for working kind of airshed based approach, which will involve coordination kind of arrangement between the different agencies, because the Delhi pollution, if we talk, it's not a pollution of Delhi, it's a pollution of other states, neighboring states, which cause the actions we are taking. Maybe these kind of actions are not taken by the different states, but they are causing pollution to Delhi. So the things we are doing in Delhi that should be done by other neighboring states, because air pollution has no boundary. It will keep on moving. If it is on the upstream side of the state, upstream side of cities, if they are vehicles which are flying on diesel, but they are not in Delhi. We are banning in Delhi, no problem. But we are not banned in UP. We are not banned in Haryana. We are not banned in Rajasthan. So what will happen? They will keep on releasing the smoke, and it will come to Delhi. If somebody is burning this waste outside Delhi, obviously it will come to Delhi. So these kind of so we need to go on airshed approach, so that this plan is implemented not in Delhi, it entire region. It should be a kind of regional strategy. The things where the strategy which I discussed, it is just related to Delhi only. But we need to go beyond Delhi. We need to go like 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers around Delhi and on the periphery of Delhi, and work out the regional coordination arrangements. You see the strategical location of Delhi. Here is Delhi, the map, but it is surrounded by Haryana. It is surrounded by UP. So it's a landlocked city, and surrounded by different states. If suppose burning is taking place in UP, obviously it will reach to Delhi. If burning takes place in Haryana, it will reach to Delhi. But it will depend on wind direction basically. If it is, because in Delhi the northwest wind is a most prevalent wind direction, so it brings the air pollution. So that wind direction changes, Delhi becomes clear. If wind direction again comes, then Delhi again witness air pollution. So these kind of the crux of the problem lies not in Delhi, but lies around the Delhi, around the periphery of Delhi. So these are the interstate issues, inter-province issues, like prevention of stubble. We have to stop burning stubble. We have to stop stubble burning around Delhi. We have to ban fried crackers not in Delhi, around Delhi, because a lot of farmhouse, lot of good restaurants, lot of amusement parks, they all lie, because if I want to marry my girl, then I will not make a function in Delhi. I will go around Delhi, outside Delhi, and then lot of firecrackers will take place, and what will happen? Smoke will come to me, to my house when I'm in Delhi. Like public transport, because we have implemented CNG in Delhi, but what about other states? And what about the compliance of vehicles registration norms? What about air pollution control at bricklins, which is not in Delhi but around Delhi? And there are very huge thermal power plants not in Delhi but around Delhi. So ultimately the smoke come to Delhi. So like this kind of interstate issues, compliance is necessary, and around Delhi we have to address all kind of issues. Then the problem of Delhi could be solved. So this calls for kind of airshed approach, and we can define airshed, that is a part of atmosphere that behaves in a coherent way with respect to dispersion of emissions. And we see that the airshed management approach that considers source of emissions that may not lie in one city, that may go beyond the boundary of the city. So we have to capture sources not inside but outside the boundary. For that, it will be based on this policy reforms for better outcome. We should have kind of a better framework for interstate coordination, interstate agencies, and we have to consider the cross-sector, cross-jurisdictional airshed bridge air quality management plans. We have to make, because each state has to make a plan covering other states. And when we are, I think, integrating all action plans in one, that will give you a airshed plan, then that will lead to improved air quality. So my research here in
Try to repeat in 5 minutes.
yeah, it's over. So, so it's my present research, which is done under the leadership of Professor Prashant. We are developing a kind of, because I'm not talking about India, because I'm stationed here, so I'm looking in a global way. So the problem of Delhi is not a problem of Delhi; it's a problem of all low and middle income groups countries. It may be Bangladesh, it can be Pakistan, it can be African country. So once we are evolving kind of airside approach, so let us do it for everybody. So we are having a kind of a global approach here, and we are developing a kind of framework and protocol for delineation of airshed in megacities, like how that, what will the size of the airshed is, and what will the framework of that, who can be involved, and what are the best things which can be done, which are cost effective, because we cannot suggest kind of things which are not affordable actually. So our focus will be to make it that kind of affordable as well as implementable and technically sound, of course. So these are the kind of airshed we are looking forward, and we are planning kind of a review paper. So I have done a kind of review. I have studied more than 30 to 40 airshed across the world, and I'm putting findings of that airshed, and based on these findings of airshed and uh, status of air pollution scenario practices which is existing, considering the strength, considering the weaknesses of these LMICs, and I'm building this airshed approach framework. So I propose, though I'm looking for one, I'm doing one, but in future, I think we may be looking for two kind of applications. So again, uh, these are the kind of framework which is we have developed here in Global Center, and I'm sure, and very soon we'll be sharing. Once this paper is published, we'll be sharing with you, and we'll have another opportunity to share that paper with you in future. Once again, I'm really thankful to Ms. Marila from IES Institute of Advanced Studies, and to great Professor Prashant, and who from Global Center of Clean Air Research, who has been kind enough for helping us in our problem of air pollution remediation.
Thank you very much.
Any questions if you have in your mind, you are free to ask.
Fascinating presentation.
Thank you so
By
much.
the way, if you haven't been to Delhi, so this is a
Yeah, it's a red fort.
It's a red fort, and whenever you are there, I think you should not be missing it. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a really lovely place. So
Yeah.
there are a couple of other places as well,
Yeah.
like
Sure.
yeah,
I'll be
so-
host, so all are welcome to India. Definitely, I will love to host you and guide you. India is a beautiful country, is a diverse, with so much diversity, so much beautiful beaches, so many beautiful mountains, and lovely people, and everything is fantastic, basically.
maybe you could give 10 minutes to the.
Indian food is really tasty. So
Let's give 10 minutes to the audience
yes,
to
please.
see
Please.
if.
That's why I told that you are free to talk to me, and if you have any
let's
question
ask
in
them
mind.
questions. Yeah, they might have something for you.
Yes.
Yeah, don't-
Let them ask, then I will again ask questions.
Let's start
Yes,
with John.
Sir.
Thanks very much, Prashant. It's a great talk. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And it's impressive the mitigations you're putting in place in Delhi. Of course, for big cities, there's always a tension between local activities that is enabled by the local government and what the national government has decided, let's say. So we see this in the UK with the current plans to increase the ultra-low emission zone in London. I wonder what national activities there are from the Indian government that impact on what you're doing locally.
Yeah, of course, because whatever plans we are drawing, basically whatever finance we are drawing, it comes from top of
Okay.
top of the government, because Ministry of Environment and Forest, that is our umbrella organization. So we are working under umbrella organization. We are 27 states in India, or 27 provinces. So this umbrella organization, Ministry of Environment and Forest, they are funding us basically for different activities, and for each activities they are, like for transport they are funding for this thing, like for industry department. So different, because air pollution is a multidimensional issue, so different stakeholders are involved And to control these different stakeholders in the state, there's a center government. Ultimately, they are providing guidance, technical guidance, and kind of policy, some kind of standards, so that they come from top to
Okay,
bottom.
great.
So
Thanks
that
very
kind of arrangement we have.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I just have, how successful is the enforcement of the measures that you've noted in your presentation?
Actually,
There are a number of enforcement
yeah,
measures.
enforcement
How
is-
successful is that?
yeah, because if you see the first slide, second slide I have shown you, so there is a decreasing trend. The pollution which was in if you I've shown a very small picture actually. It's a kind of 3 years period. If you compare it with like in year 2002, 2004, so it has come it is declining every year. So there is a decreasing trend. So decreasing trend means that we are doing our whatever initiatives we are taking, they are successful basically. There may be some kind of loopholes in some kind of implementing things. There may be some kind of challenges, but anyway we are building on the challenges and we are improving those challenges. Maybe some there will be some initiatives that will be very difficult to implement. They will be very difficult. So, but anyway, we will find a kind of different arrangements to how to implement it. Because phasing out of old vehicles is not so easy. It's really a challenge. So, but slowly we have to find the ways. We are polluting when you basically when you place a kind of substitution, initiate incentives, then I think things become easy for other person to adopt it. So incentives and kinds of lucrative packages. So it really sounds and moreover this awareness. So these I think combination of all these three brings a kind of sensibility among the public and to improve.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation, very insightful. I'm really curious about how you are doing your source apportionment. What types of techniques you are using to do this? If you can discuss a little bit more about this, because, well, we know that it's very important to establish these mitigation measures to tackle air pollution. So it's very important to find the correct, most important, most relevant air pollution sources. So I'm quite curious about this.
Yeah. So actually, exactly, because it's a very broader area. It's a very specific technical area. So I may not be knowing what kind of exact models they are using, but with the confidence I can tell that they are using the receptor-based models. And
That's very.
Yeah.
Do you know any kind of what type of receptor models are you using,
yeah, exactly.
or some monitoring campaigns to understand
Maybe I can help.
the emission
I-
sources?
I take your query, I note down the query, and I'll let you know about the details of this.
Great, thank you so much.
So, if I can just add actually, so there was a big kind of source apportionment study. So they were more based on the chemical mass balance. So there's quite a lot of
CMB, okay.
CMB, the filter collections, and then doing the chemical analysis, and then
I know
apportioning it.
very well.
Now, I think recently there has been quite a lot of advancement. So they have been using some high-end equipment like the AMS to even look into the online emission inventory or the source apportionment, which is much advanced than possibly even in the UK or in other
Yeah.
countries.
Yes, it's
So-
very particular.
So the things are
Very
moving.
challenging.
So the things are
Yeah.
moving quite well actually in that direction, given the diversity and the complexity.
But exactly what are the exact kind of models they are using, what are the exact kind of approach they are using, I can share with you.
Please, I'm quite interested because I've been working with it.
Maybe today.
Yes, thank you so much.
We've still got 5 minutes actually, so there's an opportunity here.
Otherwise, I will ask some questions.
Maybe I'll just elaborate actually what John was asking.
Yeah.
So given the diversity, and I think you asked a very good question actually, the effectiveness of the implementations.
Yeah.
The country is like huge, and the governance structure is more like top down. So you got like the central the thing, and then it goes to the states.
Yeah.
the implementation always has been
Challenge,
a challenge. That how do you do that? It looks to me that the initiatives actually you have got are really good actually. So they seem to be picking up all the right things which is happening. But I think the major gaps possibly remains in terms of how effective they are. And the fact is that you can say that it's working, but what are the kind of evidence base that although there is also kind of a competing influence in a way that one side, the population is increasing, the sources are increasing, the pollution levels are kind of going up.
Yeah.
On the other side, there are mitigations.
Yeah.
So it's like a race actually between what you could do to stop and then what's happening in terms of the natural kind of growth for the economy and the population and so on. And it looks to me that there's always a gap, and that gap remains in developing as well as the developed countries. Here, I guess we know that how much the gap is, and what you can plan. Possibly the gap is a little wider in developing countries, and that's even wider in African continent, where things are not moved back to. So it's just more like a comment rather than a question. So there is
in Delhi, the problem in Delhi is that here the population moves from periphery to core. Everybody is running to cities because of good infrastructure. They have the good hospitals, good employment opportunities. We don't have any kind of counter-magnetic cities. That concept is not there. So because of that, everybody is running to the cities for earnings and all. It makes actually influx, daily influx. A lot of thousands of people are coming, adding to the population in Delhi. So that is one of the problems, basically.
And that's the beauty as well.
Yeah,
You can see the
whereas you see, if you compare vis-a-vis with the other cities, that development is basically uniform everywhere. It's not in the center. It's happening everywhere. Surrey is treated as good as London. So nobody would like to. For me, actually, when I went to London recently, I thought that Surrey is a good place. So that kind of things that should be developed, because it will happen when you develop kind of counter-magnetic, the infrastructure facilities, equal infrastructure facilities. You should develop around periphery of the cities to make them city more sustainable and less loaded actually. You have to disperse this population, disperse the sources, and so that that particular city doesn't become hotspot.
I think we could possibly close. I'm conscious of time because people might have other commitments. So first of all, thank you very much for
My pleasure.
the excellent talk, and I think it was very informative and a lot of information in there. And I think it's I think it's good to see from the talk actually how the cities are doing and what kind of the policies and mitigation measures are happening there. So it's brilliant. So I think we can give a big round of applause.